Hello Gazikins, Dougan. I'd like to welcome you all to the new year. I trust 2013 is treating you well so far, and that Santa Claus got you all of the gifts that you were looking for over Christmas time. In fact, I can even be a bit of a douche and actually say, tell me in the comment section what Santa Claus got you for Christmas. I think that'd be a bit of a douche move, because I know obviously everyone will answer that question, and also get one of those the most discussed comments sections on YouTube today. What did Santa give me? Blah, 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 blah. I would like to start off properly and say, hey, I'm Dougan. And I've had a recent revelation of sorts. I won't deny it's not as groundbreaking as shattering as Agent Smith's revelation back when he was interviewing Morpheus in the film The Matrix. But I realised I've now actually stopped and introduced myself to you guys, the viewers of the network of the Directors of Gaming, to which I apologise. It's always been the case that I've done a video, and I've sent it to him, and the T-Dog chaps posted. Okay, I think I've only had one video get bounced, but it's more case it was like a 20-minute live stream type video thingy with Bob and me playing Black Ops 2 Zombies. And I confess, it was that no that actually made me think, well, actually, what should I be sending in? And hence comes a revelation. I've now actually introduced myself to you guys. And unlike some of the big YouTube names battered around at the moment, I'm not big enough to just assume you already know who I am. Okay, so this is me saying, hey, I'm Dougan. And I've already said hey 3 times already now. Anywho. My apologies. Suitable lubrication when you're doing one of these videos is necessary. And obviously, as you can see visually, there is something different about this. Obviously, you tend to see generic gameplay, people talking, and you hear, obviously, what's happening in game. And obviously, here comes a Predator drone. Sorry, Hunter Killer. Kind of ironic, obviously, the Hunter Killer you see in Black Ops 2 is somewhat smaller than the Hunter Killer you saw in the Terminator. However, I would like to start off by saying I'm a Welshman. Okay, I don't sound Welsh, and this comes down to 2 key points. Both my parents are not from Wales. Okay, one's from Ireland, one's from England. Secondly, obviously, whilst I'm Welsh, obviously it's being brought up in that kind of environment. It's very difficult to have a kind of singular accent. So, hence, I would say I sound like a very neutral British tone. I've had people identified as being Scottish. I've had people identified as being African, not quite sure why. I've had people identified as being American, and even one time a Polish fan as well. No, I'm a Welshman, but obviously I don't kind of sound like one of the boys from the valleys you'll see. Obviously I can't put it on. In the real world, I am Andrew. And my stock in trade is I'm an optometrist. So for us Brits, we call them ophthalmic opticians. But everywhere else in the world, we use the term optometrist. Or at least I know in America and Australia. Because I've been to Australia, and my next on the to-do list is America. And yes, I do tend to ramble along on different points when I'm actually doing one kind of video. I started off, obviously, with optometry back in 2002. And this has been my stock in trade thus far. Obviously, I'm now reaching my 10th year doing this, and I've realised what have I got to show for myself. The presence online, I was going to say I have been an avid gamer since about my GCSE age. So it's a good 16 years now. Okay, from my perspective, that was back when Quake 2 was just released, and obviously the MSN Communications and Gaming Network permitted you to use the demo to play on their games. Obviously, this is way back when you actually had a dial-up modem, you dialed into a network, and they put you into a little lobby in a little group, and once you had the whole 8 people into a group, they then started the network. And suffice to say, playing on a dial-up network is a very humbling experience. So when you're running around with the new broadband systems of today, especially with BT Infinity, which I'm currently using, no, that's not an intended name plug, then the difference is astronomical. And yet you still have people complain and whine about there being lag in a game. I was thinking, compared to dial-up, there's nothing wrong with this. Well, that was the end of the first half, and as you can see, round was lost. but we're catching up slowly. Then obviously I graduated, went to college, went into university, came out the other side, and obviously I then fully qualified, and now I had an abundance of spare time. Okay, so thinking, what can I do to fill it up with? And I then thought, well, let's go back to doing video games. Okay, that's what I did. And it was around about 2004, 2005 that obviously Half-Life 2 first came out. And for those of you who don't remember that far back, or weren't around to remember that far back, yes, there are people who do watch these videos that are that old or that young. The Steam network was perhaps one of the most contentious systems around, as it just missed being hit by a care package. These days it's not as pretentious, and it was around the time when obviously I was quite happily using Xfire, thinking why I'd have to use Steam to do all my gaming. These days I choose Steam over Origins, to be honest, and I know this was a topic of a video I've done in the past where I discussed about Origins. I got very, very heavily involved in Half-Life 2, especially the deathmatch scene. And obviously I wouldn't have said I was being up to a competitive sort of level in my opinion though, but I could quite accurately nail somebody with the crossbow, and obviously there is flight time with ease and the bullet drop, so to speak, so to effect, that someone on the other side of the map, I could usually, if they're going to run like so far ahead, pin to a wall, and obviously it's almost an insta-death if you get pinned by a crossbow bolt. Obviously if you crank up your shields using one of the Overwatch supercharged from the Combine, you can crank up to 200, so essentially the only thing that an insta-give you would be the Combine ore that you got from the secondary fire from the AR2, as someone just gets blown up by another hunter killer. Moving on from there, I then got into Counter-Strike, and this was purely by fluke. Okay, my younger brother had caused the family computer to get set on fire, and so part of this was obviously they wanted to copy a number of files off their hard drive so they could send the computer back. And as part of this, I needed to clear off space off my computer to copy those files off. So I thought, well, I've not played Counter-Strike, let's just remove that from the article list, and that'll clear out like a couple of gigs of space for them to put their stuff on. So this was back in the day when I had one hard drive, and the capacity was 100 gigabytes, which seems almost inconsequential now. I then obviously played into Counter-Strike, and the first map was Counter-Strike, CS Italy, and I hate to say it didn't do very well, but by fluke, like the second server I got into was greeted with open arms, it was great camaraderie going on in this server, and I fluked upon the Eternal Vigilance Counter-Strike Source cohort server. And obviously very, very friendly. Obviously the whole point of playing Counter-Strike, you play for a round, when you die you're dead. It's basically like Search and Destroy. Kind of makes you wonder where they actually got the idea of Search and Destroy from, to be honest, but that's a different kettle of fish. They got it from Counter-Strike? Who knows? But I then got involved with Eternal Vigilance, and they've been my guild of choice for the last 7-8 years now. I've been with them 7.5 years, we just turned 8, so I almost have a founder tag, if you will. It was then about 2005 as part of the Hasatus project, which was my project to progress myself, to be allowed to vote within the guild, to make a video in-game sponsoring our guild. And there were a couple of other projects at the time. You had to write an article of sorts, you had to promote or recruit 2 people. I thought the chance of me recruiting 2 people from real life to do this, not going to happen. So I did the video, and it was a very simple anti-piracy skit. I saw the idea of cinema actually at one stage in one of these short animation bits, that people will be watching with night vision goggles. And then obviously I had my character pull up with a sorrow. We'll take action. I made this video and I didn't actually realise what the term was. It was only later in 2005, maybe even 2006, when I actually understood it was called machinima. It was then obviously, fast forward to about 2009, I'd been advancing my own understanding of how to make films and make machinima, and obviously the different engines at the time. My favourite being the Source SDK to do face pose work. It was from that I then crafted Modern Nobbery 2. Modern Nobbery 2 was my signature piece. It was my Opius Day, and it still is in my opinion. I haven't done anything better than that. But I then sent it off to machinima.com and asked to join the director program, and they accepted it. And it was more recently, so about 2010, that they added me onto the partner system. And so I've just been crafting little videos here, there and everywhere of machinima and skits, and I hate to say I've been rehashing a lot of my older stuff. I've had nothing new and creative for a while now. Just to get shocked and then taken by a bouncing Betty. Good job, Dougan! And this is obviously we get around to today, where we're now finding there's been a very selective refinement and assessment processes on many of these larger game networks. Hence, obviously, where the directors of gaming have been quite happy to me to accept any of my content that has been bounced elsewhere. So that's a little plot summary as to what I have done and who I am and what I have. I will ask a genuine question. If you've never seen who I am, then I'll give you an opportunity to ask me a question right now, and I will aim to answer it on the next video. I'm Dougan. Ciao for now. Hey, that works.
Dougan.